Well, in the Caribbean, there are some impacts that we think we're already seeing. For one thing, increasing intensity of hurricanes. We have an annual hurricane season, and the number of hurricanes changes from year to year, but we definitely see more high intensity Category 4 and 5 hurricanes. But with that, we're seeing just a change in rainfall patterns, or we expect a change in rainfall patterns where there'd be more concentrated rainfall. So lots of rain, but in fewer occasions of rain. So unfortunately, it's what seems to be happening, and what has been predicted is that we'll have more intense droughts, more frequent droughts, coupled with more high intensity rainfall and more flooding events. So those are that's what we think we will see, but who knows?
And in terms of freshwater systems, which you said is your kind of focus, what are the challenges that are facing projects working in that specific area in the Caribbean?
I think the main challenges facing the Caribbean in terms of freshwater resource management in the face of climate change, they're manifold, and I can just tell you a few off the top of my head. I think we just have had poor policies in terms of water resources planning and water resources management. So often we don't have the type of foresight and long-range planning that would have preserved our natural reservoirs where we have them in the more mountainous islands. And then in other islands too, the more low-lying islands, we've just had poorly managed development. So the aquifers, the freshwater lenses that are the main repository of the water supplies are often polluted, sometimes polluted. I feel that with proper planning and foresight, good politics, we would be much better able to weather climate change impacts on freshwater resources. I'm coming from a 6-month drought in Kingston, Jamaica this year, where we saw very clearly places like the Cockpit Country, which had pretty much intact forests, had rivers that continued to flow from the base flow in aquifers. Where I live in Kingston was not so lucky. We had lock-offs, water for 2 days a week, sort of thing. And so it was really clear, just the difference between a well-managed natural reservoir and a poorly managed one across the island. And, I think there's also a role for just changing the public mindset about where water actually comes from. Often people think, in third world countries, people are very close to nature and so on, but in the Caribbean, we're often not that close to nature, and so we don't often respect the linkages between the forest on the mountain and the water in the taps. And I think we need to start engendering that once more. And also, I know I'm speaking really long, but sometimes the things we used to do when we were poor, we need to get back to those, like rainwater harvesting. There are so many people that were happy to kiss rainwater harvesting goodbye because it was a sign of backwardness. However, if it's engendered in policy that residences and even businesses have rainwater catchment capacities, I think we will be much better able to deal with whatever future shocks climate change brings.